Jimmy, do it.
And if you could just mute your mics for the duration of the meeting, and at the end there will be a question period. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight. I'm CI Patak. I'm a civilian instructor at the squadron, and I hope everybody is healthy and doing well in these trying times. So tonight's meeting is basically just a welcome back night for the squadron. We'll give you an overview of what the year will look like and some of the measures that are being taken by both the squadron and the program to ensure that everyone stays safe at cadets this year. So without further ado, if he's around, I'll ask Major Leslie to say a few words. We can't hear you right now, Major Leslie.
Oh, is it?
Working.
Oh, there. Sorry, my computer is very slow today. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a good summer. It's good to see quite a few names of returning cadets. And if any of you have friends from the squadron who aren't here tonight, who maybe didn't get the message, please make sure they go to our website and sign up for our newsletter so that they always get the information. Hopefully most people have been getting our emails. But if for some reason you fell off, or friends of yours fell off the email list, please just sign up so that we can get you back back on the list. And as I said in the email that went out earlier this week, we cannot start in-person activities until the beginning of October. I very much hope that in October things will still be stable enough that that we're allowed to have in-person activities. I think I read today there's a new color-coded system for COVID warnings in Quebec, and Laval and the South Shore are already in sort of the yellow, the second stage of warning. And they said that Montreal could go back to yellow as early as Monday or Tuesday. So really, it will just depend on the public health situation. So make sure you and your friends at school respect all of the guidelines and try to keep our numbers as low as possible so that we're able to have activities in person in October. I think as a general rule, you can assume that we will be following the public school regulations pretty closely. So if schools are open, odds are we'll be able to have our cadet activities. But if the virus rate gets so high that they decide to close schools, well, obviously, if young people are not allowed to go to school together, then they won't be able to come to cadets together. But hopefully everyone is keeping positive that we will stay, that the numbers will stay low and we'll be able to get together in person as a squadron in early October. I think they'll go through, CI Patak and some of the others will go through some of the technical details of what it will look like when we come back together. But we'll be spreading things out, and there'll be obviously limits to the sort of activities that we're able to do. But on the other hand, the sort of positive thing I think that you can look forward to as our focus of the staff and all of the leaders of the program are to try and make it as fun and enjoyable and rewarding as possible for you. So if we are able to come together in October, which I hope we will, we'll be focusing on as much dynamic and interactive activities as possible while respecting all of the public health regulations. So for now, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. We'll go through several batches of information tonight. And then towards the end, if any of you have any questions, there'll be a chance for everyone to ask questions. and I look forward to exchanging with you then. So back to you, CI Patak.
Thank you very much, Major Leslie. And now I'll invite Captain Luo just to give an overview of the COVID measures being taken this year.
So hi everyone, good evening. Can you guys hear me okay? Thumbs up if
Yep, you sound perfect.
excellent. Great. So I'm Captain Luo. I just wanted to kind of briefly outline a bit of the measures that we'll be taking to adjust for these trying times of COVID. So once we're going to be resuming the in-person training, there's obviously a few precautions that will need to be respected to comply with public health regulations. One is upon entry, all cadets should have a screening questionnaire, so making sure that you're not having any fever, any cough, or any other symptoms that might be indicative of COVID or even flu. And then obviously we'll enforce hand sanitizers and cleaning of frequently touched surfaces. There's also going to be a large emphasis on charting attendance, as this will help with contact tracing in case there's any cases that arise amongst our cadet, which I really hope do not happen. And finally, there will be, an enforcement of wearing the mask, and if activities are done indoors and respecting the social distancing. In terms of all cadets, I do believe you guys have received the message of completing a DND Department of National Defense COVID course, which could be accessed online. So I think prior to us getting ready for the in-person training, it'd be a really great idea for everyone to have completed a certificate of this COVID course, and we will find a way to manage how to collect these certificates at that time. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to address your concerns to me, but as much as possible, we would like to kind of carry out as much of our training as possible, either virtually or in person, but hopefully I'm looking forward to a fun year with you all. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Captain Luo. And just to elaborate a bit more on the mandatory training provided to all cadets, I'll hand it off to the Warrant Officer First Class Gong.
Thank you, CI Patak. So as Captain Nuo mentioned, all of the cadets need to complete a COVID-19 course. So I'll just give you guys a bit more details on how you would complete that. So you would head over to the link I'll paste in the chat below. And for those watching the live stream, it's portal-portail.cadets.gc.ca. And once you're entered in that, you choose your language, English or French. And you will either have to create an account, or if you already have, you just sign in. And then there will be, unfortunately, I can't share my screen, but you guys will just have to follow with me. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 tabs. And one tab is the civilian volunteers tab. And under there's 2 options. One is the course and one is the test. So the first things you guys will do is go over the course. There's around 60 slides of information, and just process that information. This is the link if you guys are already logged in. Oops, I think I sent it in private. So this is just a general portal link. And this link is the civilian volunteer page. So this is where you guys are gonna have your course. And then, yeah, once you guys go through the course, you take your test, and there's 28 questions for the test. You can enter your name and finish the test. And if you pass the test, you'll get a certificate that you can print out. That's pretty much it for the COVID-19 training course.
Thank you very much, Warrant Officer Gong. So just to be clear, no, you shouldn't do it right now, but this is something that will be mandatory for all cadets to complete before we return to in-person activities. The link will be shared in a post or a Facebook post or an email after the meeting with further instructions on how to complete it. So finally, I'd like to invite CI Cho and CI Queso to give some non-COVID related announcements as well as administrative announcements.
Hi everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm CI Queso and I'm the administration officer for the unit. Basically, if you're a returning cadet, you know annual validations. It's the time of the year for that. Since we're not here in person, we're going to you're going to get calls from one of the officer staff, basically confirming your personal information, your confirming your personal information and kind of your medical status. So expect a phone call sometime this month in September from one of the officer staff. And yeah, that's how we're going to be doing annual validations this year. Since we're not in person in September and we need to get annual validations done. So just expect that. Also, if you have had any changes in your contact information, you can email the squadron and we will update it. Also, there are some new cadets here in this meeting. Welcome. I've been working with some of them. And we have more new cadets coming in throughout this month and throughout October as well. So for all you returning cadets, make sure you give them a warm welcome, and we will be working to kind of integrate them into the squadron. And yeah, that's basically all I have for admin related things. Just expect a call related to annual validations. And as always, keep us updated in terms of changes in contact information. Thank you, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm CI Cho, and I'll be giving you some information on some other non-COVID related activities. So despite the pandemic imposing many restrictions on our ability to hold most of our usual activities, there still are a few that cadets will be able to partake in. The first one is the Terry Fox Run. So the Terry Fox Run is a fundraiser for the Terry Fox Foundation that supports cancer research. So cadets and their families can register to participate in a virtual version of this event. By virtual, I mean more of a self-paced event where you can register and go run on the day of the event after downloading the Terry Fox app. The second is the Battle of Britain Parade. So the Battle of Britain was the first battle of the Second World War that was mainly fought in the air. And every year a parade is held to remember those who fought and sacrificed their lives in this battle. But due to the COVID-19 outbreak, the RCF will be hosting a virtual ceremony for this event. So the virtual ceremony will take place on the 20th of September at 10:30, and we will be broadcasted on the Royal Canadian Air Force Facebook page. So cadets as well as staff are encouraged to log in and view the ceremony. And the link for this will be posted on our Facebook page. Now, moving on to two more squadron-related activities, we have the Duke of Edinburgh program, which is a self-development program that promotes developing skills, getting physically active, and serving the community, as well as cadets who complete this program will also receive a pin that they can wear on their uniform. So the Duke of Edinburgh program is making things more accommodating as far as the requirements are concerned as a result of the pandemic. And CI Shah, who is our Duke of Edinburgh officer, he'll be organizing a session for anyone that's interested in partaking in the Duke of Edinburgh program. So keep your eyes open for that. And again, more info will come in the following weeks. Now, the last bit of information is relevant to SCI Queso.
I just have a quick announcement. If you're in the meeting and you're, I'm taking attendance as this meeting is going on. So please have your display name be your first and last name, because it's hard when we have just first names or nicknames or the names of your parents, because I want to be able to mark all of you present who are here. So just change your display name, and if you don't know how to do that, just message me privately on Zoom so that I can make sure you're marked as present. Thank you.
All right, so the last bit of information I had was related to ground school. So for now, we'll be proceeding under the hopes that there will be summer training in 2021, and we will be preparing cadets for the selection exams that will be held normally during the winter of 2021. But there's no guarantee that the glider pilot scholarship course, as well as the power pilot scholarship course, will take place in the summer of 2021. So just keep that in mind. But we still will be holding ground school classes. More details will come soon from Captain Woods. But all this information that I just given you will, as well as the respective links, will be posted on the Facebook page. So you will all be able to register for the Terry Fox run, as well as take a look at all the information at a time that is convenient for you. That's all for me.
Thank you very much, CI Cho and CI Queso. So that about wraps up the information that we have to give to you. So at this time, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them either in the chat, or if you'd like to unmute yourself, you can do so as well. If not, oh, sorry.
Oh, just to add a little bit to the presentation. I know it seems that it might be a little bit odd to be looking too far in the future with all of the restrictions we're living through today, but next year in 2021 will mark the 80th anniversary of the squadron, and so we're hoping that by hopefully by June of 2021, but if not by September or autumn of 2021, a situation will permit us to have a big public parade to mark our 80th anniversary. So we'll be looking to find ways to mark that throughout this year and to prepare for a big celebration next year. So it's I just wanted to remind all of the cadets, whether you're new or whether you're a warrant officer and have been here for years, that next year will be an exciting time to be a member of the unit. So please stick with us, even though, especially in the month of September, it will be a little bit, a little bit harder to be fully engaged because we'll be all online. And I know that lots of other things have to happen online these days too, so you can get Zoom fatigued. But stick with us. As soon as we're able to meet in person, we'll make sure that we bring as many of the fun and exciting elements of the cadet program to the table from the get-go. And to any of our new cadets, welcome. Thank you for joining, and feel free to have your friends join too. And if any of our current cadets, returning cadets who are on the line today, if you know friends in the squadron who aren't planning to come back this year or left the squadron last year, and you think that they should come back, be sure you reach out and let them know so that they can rejoin the squadron and be part of the fun activities later this year and throughout 2021. So now, if anybody has any questions for any of the staff, please ask or write in the chat.
I saw one question in the chat just to address. If you came late to the meeting, it is being recorded and we will share it later. So if you missed the beginning, don't worry, we will share the whole meeting.
Another thing I can add is that we'll, in the coming weeks, as we lead up to going back to the RMR in October, there's a very sort of rigid plan for how people can circulate in the building as part of their COVID precautions. So when you come in the front door, everybody has to turn to the right and take the long way around, depending on where you need to get to in the building. So they've already prepared maps that spell out exactly which staircases are up staircases, which staircases are down, and we'll be sending that around and posting that on our website so people can look at it and become familiar with the setup before you get there, so that it's not a surprise. And another important element is that we can only the maximum size of any gatherings for the cadet program for the foreseeable future is 50 people, cadets and officers included. So for the time being, we will be having 2 different locations. One 50 cadet, almost 50 cadets at the RMR, and then we've also arranged to have access to the NDG Legion on Wednesday nights as well, so that way we can have almost 100 cadets, probably about 90 cadets or 95 plus 90 cadets plus officers in both locations. And then if we need capacity for more than 100 cadets on a Wednesday night, we will either have a third group that does sports outside somewhere or does online training, and then we'll rotate through whether you're in person or online in any given week. Just got a couple of questions regarding the Duke of Edinburgh program. It's a great program. If you just Google it on your phone or on your computer, you'll see all about it. It's a youth engagement program that was created by Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, many years ago, probably 60, I think around 60 years ago. And it motivates youth, it's not restricted to just the cadet program, but youth in general, to a lot of the attributes that are part of the cadet program: citizenship, leadership, physical fitness. And so you can sort of look at it as a bonus program to the cadet program, because almost all of the aspects of the Duke of Ed program are covered in the cadet program. So as long as you take care to track all of the activities that you participate in the cadet program, you basically qualify for a Duke of Ed pin. And there are 3 levels: bronze, silver, and gold. And if you get as far as the gold program, I think the pin is always presented to you by a member of the royal family or the Governor General. So that's a pretty neat thing to have. And the other nice thing about the Duke of Ed program with the cadets is that it's an approved program for us. And so the squadron can actually cover the registration fees for you if you join the program. So CI Shaw will be organizing an activity to talk a little bit more. We've got time, so you can talk a little bit about it now if you want, CI Shaw.
Yeah, so basically adding into some of the stuff for the Duke of Ed, what the up above individuals who like run the activities and they kind of have the regulations, they've been really accommodating, and there's a lot of activities you can do like at home now, which previously wouldn't have been allowed to be approved. And you can have different types of supervisors who could also be family members, and which was normally not allowed before because they're being more accommodating due to the COVID situation right now. So these are temporary changes that are being made. And I think that this way it also allows you to be more engaged even while you're still virtually. You can probably set yourself and you set your own goals, like going for running at the nearby parks that still abide by our restrictions that we have for COVID-19, and you'll still be able to receive your bronze, silver, or gold. And so I'm going to be working up and making up a PowerPoint session for you guys so that it has all the new information that entails how you can still be part of it and get through the award through the squadron during this time. And so I'll be making a session for you guys and sending out an email through the announcements that we have so you can keeping a part of it. And so that's about it.
Thank you, CI Shaw. We've had a few questions about uniforms in the chat. Many people haven't been wearing the uniforms lately, which is why you've noticed that all of the CIs have let their hair grow long. But we cannot issue new uniforms at the moment for new cadets. What's going to happen sometime soon, hopefully before the beginning of October, is we actually have a new part of the uniform package, which is FTU, field training uniforms, or what we might refer to as combats, or the sort of olive green uniforms that you've seen some of the senior cadets wear when they go when we go out in the field for field training exercises. We'll be giving that out to all cadets, both new cadets and returning cadets. And I believe, this isn't 100% confirmed yet, but I believe they're working on a program where you'll basically be able to order your own uniform online, and then it will be shipped to your house. So then you will have that. And at the very least, we can, whether we're meeting digitally or in person, you'll at least have those uniforms that you can wear. For any of our returning cadets whose dress uniforms don't fit anymore, there's been a lot of slowdown in the sort of our procurement process and replenishing our stocks. But once we get back together in person in October, we'd be able to issue from whatever we have in stock. We will try to accommodate as many people as best as possible. So if we have your new size, then we can do an exchange for you right away. And then if we need to order it in, there'll be a delay. And then at that point, I'm not sure if it will be the same situation with the combats, where they will be actually, the new uniform be shipped to your house, or whether we'll receive it at the unit and then do the exchange with you. To Mr. Ryder, who asked about ordering the combat uniforms, the process isn't in place yet, but as soon as we have either an online portal or any further details regarding that, we will be back in touch and share that, so that you can place the orders as quickly as possible and get your uniforms as quickly as possible. That's about it, unless there are any other questions coming along through the chat, or if I don't know if anyone's raising their hand, or if you want to ask a question in person, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. I think everyone has followed the leader and shut off their cameras, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a Zoom. I think having a Zoom is so that we can all see your face. So if we're getting ready to sign off pretty soon, I think, but anybody who wants to turn on their camera and get a look at everybody and wave hello to the unit, you're welcome to turn the cameras on. I bought one of the ring lights, so that now I have really nice lighting. Anytime I have to have one of these meetings, which I do every day of my life now. So that's my trick. That's how I look. That's how I look younger and more refreshed than I did at the beginning of the pandemic. You just update your IT hardware. So good to see lots of smiling faces from many of you. So good to see you all. Anybody else next time? Another thing that we didn't talk about yet is, so we've got a couple more questions. Someone said turn it off. Yeah, that's okay. If you can't turn on your camera, that's no big deal. Somebody asked who to contact for ground school. Is that CI Cho or Captain Woods, or who's the first point of contact for ground school inquiries?
So that'll be me, Captain Woods, but for now we really don't have too much to to tell you other than we will be doing ground school, and details will come, but I'll be still taking charge of that for this year.
Okay, so if anybody who's interested in being put on the list for ground school info, you can just send an email to the squadron email address, and then we'll make sure you get on the list. And then the other thing, as part of our training platform for this year for the virtual aspects, we'll be using Microsoft 365 platform, which has, Microsoft Teams and Shared Drive and some other collaboration tools. And so we actually have basic licenses that we can assign to all cadets, and we've actually been assigning them to you already. And in most cases, you'll be able to log in to our Microsoft platform using your first name dot last name at onewestmontreal.com. And I think Warren Officer Gong set a temporary password for everybody.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, don't say it yet.
Yeah,
But we'll let you know what it is when we're ready for you to access the platform. But the good thing about that is that we can, once everybody has their own individual license, and we will probably migrate most of these events to Microsoft Teams as opposed to Zoom. And then we can have multiple meetings and sessions happening simultaneously. So it's not a question of getting 60, 70, 80, 100 or 150 people on the same Zoom call to watch me talk to you in my very nice ringlit webcam. It'll be more dynamic. We'll be able to split it up to smaller groups. And if you may get a weekly meeting for ground school, which becomes an online training course that in the past was on Thursday nights. Maybe it'll still be on Thursday nights, but you'll be assigned as part of that team. And then when that team meets, you'll get a notification, and then you log into your Microsoft 365 One West Montreal profile. And then you actually will, every single cadet in the squadron will have an email address, your first name dot last name at onewestmontreal.com, which was all tied into the into our MS 365 program. And so it'll be even easier for us to send messages to all of you and keep everyone informed of what's happening. So that's where we're at for me and for the sort of IT side. Does anybody have any last questions before we wrap things up? Well, if not, I'd like to thank all of the staff who worked at preparing the presentation tonight, and to Warrant Officer Gong, who organized a good meeting with the senior cadets this past Saturday. Sorry for the late notice for tonight's meeting. I know it was just sent out yesterday morning, but we had to get approval for even to resume our virtual activities. So we had to wait for that to come through before we could confirm that we could have the event. So thank you for your patience and understanding. But going forward, you'll get more of a set schedule and a more interactive program, so that you can be more involved in the things that we hold on Wednesday nights, whether it's in person or online. And just a couple of other things that you'll notice going forward: we cannot do any overnight trips for the time being, and any activities we do have to be within a 1 hour distance from our headquarters, so from the RMR. So we're looking at ways to find things to do within those constraints, and we'll try to organize as many fun activities for as many cadets as possible, and while respecting those restrictions. So that's where we're at. Thank you again for everyone who signed in tonight, and everybody.
Can I add one last thing?
Yep.
For seniors, we'll actually have our call after the Zoom call. We'll be testing out the Teams platform. I sent you guys all a message on our messenger, so don't log right out. Don't just leave. We'll test everything on Teams after the Zoom call. Thanks.
Great. Well, thank you, Warren Officer Gong. So you can see that the seniors are motivated and are already working to make sure that we keep things as fun and as dynamic as possible. So remember, send this message to anybody you know who might be interested in joining the squadron or coming back to the squadron. And we'll make sure that we keep being the biggest, the best, and the oldest squadron in Montreal. And Officer Cadet Encarnacion just issued an announcement for the band. If there are any new cadets who are interested in joining the band or want to be involved in the music part, join the band Facebook group. And you can, if you don't know where to find that, you can send an email to any of the squadron email addresses. We'll make sure that you get that information. And any returning cadets who might be interested in joining the band, you can always contact us too. For right now, band training has to happen online. So we're working to find ways to make that as efficient as possible. There might be 1 week that we do sectional rehearsals where all the clarinets work together and all the trumpets work together and stuff like that. And the only in-person band we can have are percussionists. So we're looking at getting a few percussion clinics put together so that our drummers can learn some new skills. All right. Well, with that, I think we were pretty much done a little earlier, a little shorter than we thought. So thank you again to all of the staff and to the senior cadets, and thank you all for joining us tonight. And I can't wait until we can have our first in-person meeting in October.